Hello, St. Paul's family, and welcome to this virtual 193rd birthday party. While it is unfortunate that we cannot gather together to celebrate this wonderful occasion, we're joyful because this year we're able to be a bit off campus as we give thanks for our beloved church home and everything that it continues to give us. This year, as you know, has been a difficult and challenging year, but today we are reminded just how strong our church can be. St. Paul's has endured much over its 193 years, and it stands stronger than ever. Not only has it survived many demanding times, but it continues to thrive even in the midst of what the world can throw at it. So let's celebrate. Let's celebrate this grand old church in those 193 years as we also look to a future that knows no limits. Thanks for being with us today. Happy birthday, St. Paul's. Now let's have a party. Hey everybody, we are in Columbia today, and I'm with Chris Bowie, who is director of St. Peter's in Columbia, but we're not at St. Peter's today.
We are not at St. Peter's.
St. John's, this beautiful old church that is before us today. And can you tell us a few interesting tidbits about this?
Consecrated in 1842, it's built by Leonidas Polk, later bishop, later missionary, Bishop of Louisiana, later general in the war, and that ended badly for him. This property here is at the meeting point of 4 different plantations that belong to the 4 Polk brothers. And so this was the meeting place, but it was really Leonidas who had the vision of having this church here. And you can read his letters to his mother. He's very excited about this project. He's talking about how they're pushing it forward. And talking about the craftsmanship using local materials. Everything inside here comes from this area. The cherry of the pews from local cherry trees here, and of course constructed by hand labor. And when you look at that archway, for example, I mean that's some serious engineering at a time when you wouldn't have expected that.
Well, it's a beautiful structure, and it's owned by the diocese. It's not really a working parish, but the diocese just continues to own it, correct?
Correct. It is the diocesan property. I think deeded over, I want to say in 1939, but double check me on that. I might be making it up. Might be lying.
We do that all the time.
Yeah, right.
It's great. We're allowed to do. But it's kind of cool because it was built so close to the time that St. Paul's was built. We thought it'd be a good idea to take a look at it from the outside as well as go inside and look at it to see what St. Paul's would probably look like before the slave galley was taken down. So let's go inside, okay?
There you go.
All right, so Chris, we are now inside St. John's. What can you tell us about what is currently going on in this beautiful structure today?
Currently, there's one service held each year on Pentecost, called here Whitsunday. That used to be a major event for all the congregations in the Diocese of Tennessee. Now it's more of a local kind of county event. We will bring in, there's a rotation of the bishops of Tennessee, East Tennessee, West Tennessee, and they'll come in. And what's great about this is at the close of the service, which by the way, the first time we did this, you'll notice that there's no air conditioning, so the windows are all open. It was Pentecost, it was Whitsunday, so we're hearing about the mighty rushing wind. A breeze was going through. It just gives me chills to think about it. At the conclusion of the service, we all process out when we go into the graveyard area. And it's a very moving thing because you have these little girls who are carrying flowers and in white robes, laying the flowers at the graves of the bishops. And then afterwards, there's a huge picnic, which is how we roll. But the neat thing about it, it's amazing. People will sit in pews so that they can see their loved ones who have passed. And then we'll go out and following the kids who are playing on the grass at this picnic. You have an image of the church expectant, the church triumphant. You have a sense of the church that's in the present, connecting with the past, but also looking towards the future with the kids. It's an image of the church.
And so now we're looking from the altar to the back of the church, and you might get a good idea of what St. Paul's would probably have looked like if the slave gallery would have stayed. It's interesting when we talk about those days in the congregations. Chris, what can you tell us about how the congregation was made up back in those days?
Well, certainly the purpose of the church was to allow the families on the different plantations to worship together, but also it was important for Paul that the enslaved persons worship here as well. And in fact, there are records, historic records of there being a mixture of the enslaved persons and the plantation families together on the floor of the church here. The services were longer back then, and so you really got to know your neighbor pretty well.
So Chris, this is an interesting headstone we've come upon. What can you tell us about it?
This is the man. This is Bishop Odie, and it dies in 1863. And as we all know, the pioneer of so many churches. Allegedly founding St. Paul's. No, yes, of course, the first church, of course. St. Peter's recognizes that. And what's interesting is on either side of the stone here, we have kind of an evangelical statement professing that only the blood of Christ cleanses sin. And on the other, you have affirmation that he is the first bishop of the one holy Catholic Apostolic Church. So you see the fusion of the evangelical zeal and kind of the Catholic high church order meeting in this man.
That's great. And we have other bishops who are
Yes,
resting places, right?
Yes, most recently Bishop Curlong. You also see Bishop Gates and a few others. Well, sometimes they're hiding.
Right.
They're shy.
And right here, I don't know if you can pan around, but this is where
Leonidas Pope
was originally buried, but is no longer here.
He is not here. He's translated to New Orleans. Right.
That's right.
He's not here. He's not risen. Not yet. But
that's right.
He's been on the road.
He's resting in New Orleans.
That's right.
Well, Chris, this has been a great tour. Thanks for having us. It's a gorgeous place of worship. And if you ever have a chance to come by, just come on by and take a look at it. It's a beautiful, holy structure.
Well, hello everyone, and folks from the Historic Committee have asked me to talk a little bit about one of our newest additions to the church. Maybe a little background to start. So I was at a dinner party, and Rusty approached me that he was interested in me developing some cabinetry for our narthex area so that folks, when you enter the narthex, that there would be a place for the communication materials. So came up with these two cabinets that was reviewed by our vestry and a couple of other members of the church. And the idea was that we would have places for the children's materials, place for our bulletins, place for some books possibly, and this is what we came up with. So the cabinets are made out of white oak, which is similar to what's up in the narthex. I imported 2 trees from Germany. So the cabinets are basically made out of just 2 trees totally. And the idea was that they would be coordinate with the architecture and the finish and the materials that we would see up in the narthex. So there's multiple drawers that we can use for pencils and different things like that, for the ushers, as well as for the kids, as well as a spot for the bulletins, and then different things up top. for marketing materials or communication materials for new people to come into the church when our doors are open and someone's not there. The tops are marble so that we can put flowers and things on top here, and they should last a long time. And that's it. I think it's a great addition to the church.
So this is a birthday party, but it's a little bit different because you get to buy gifts at our birthday party. So we have gifts that you can purchase, and the money comes to the Historic Fund, and you can support the efforts that the committee does and the society does to support the historic activities around Franklin. And we have this wonderful, beautiful, outstanding t-shirt that you can have for a mere $10, and a Christmas ornament, also $10. Or look at this, the history of St. Paul's in this wonderful book, $15. I know you want to give that as a Christmas gift in your t-shirt. And if that's not enough, we have these wonderful candles, St. Paul's on the top, coming in various colors, various fragrances, and various sizes in these wonderful vessels. And when you're through with the candle, you still have the vessel that you can use for bowls around your house. We have them at our house, and Marita puts peanuts and candies and stuff in when people come to the house and entertain. So $30 for the big one, $15 for the little one. They're from Patty Wax Candles, all kind of special things, special non-paraffin stuff so you don't get sick and all that stuff. I don't understand that. But hey, it smells good and it looks good. That's what you want. $15 and $30. Buy these birthday gifts today.
Hello everyone, I hope you're enjoying this virtual celebration of 193 years of worship and ministry here at St. Paul's. We are approaching our 200th birthday, and believe it or not, we have already begun to plan for the events, exhibits, and celebrations that will take place in that milestone year. The Bicentennial Society was formed in 2017 to coordinate and prepare for the big events to happen in 2027. The total donation of $1,000 can be made in installments over the next 7 years. For more information or to become a member, look for these brochures here in the narthex or talk to a member of the Historic Committee. And as always, thank you for being part of St. Paul's history. I hope you'll stay tuned on our Facebook page for a history of St. Paul's brought to you by the author of our history book, our very own Scott Smith. Enjoy.
We are the Historic Committee of St. Paul's, and we hope you have enjoyed the entertainment we have had for you today, the educational videos, all of our various items that we have for you that you can purchase today on St. Paul's birthday. So we wish St. Paul's a wonderful and happy 193 years.
Happy
birthday,
St. Well, St. Paul's family, I am so glad that you have been able to join us, if not in person, virtually, as we celebrate 193 years of this church in its existence. And so many people throughout the history of the church have had a tremendous role in making this church what it is today, and you have gotten a glimpse of some of the places that are so important and tied to our history. And while we can't celebrate together, we can certainly continue to reach out to one another. And while I love birthday parties and I love cupcakes and I love this church, you all are what make it so special. Happy birthday, St. Paul's.